What is up, YouTube's Mountain Man Magic, and we have our M19 Mono Green Dream Team Draft Chaff deck tech. And this is basically an elf deck, all using just M19 Draft Chaff cards. So to jump in, let's check out the creatures first. We got 4 Druid of the Cowls. We're going to play 3 Dryad Green Seekers. We're going to play 2 Greenwood Sentinels, and then of course 4 of our main lady, Elvish Clan Caller. Big fan of her. At the 3-drop spot, we got 4 Elvish Rejuvenators. Sorry, 3 Elvish Rejuvenate. At the 3-drop spot, we have 4 3-drops. We have 3 Elvish Rejuvenators. We've got 2 Gipper Guides, and we've got 2 Reclamation Sages. And then we've got a couple Hungering Hydras and a Goreclaw. In the spells category, we've got a couple Rabid Bites. I love this artwork. It is... The dude looks rabid. You absolutely nailed it, Karl Kapinski. Well done. Then we got a couple Titanic Growths. That thing, yeah, that's ferocious looking. And then we got a couple Declare Dominance. This, in a way, is a win condition because it's obviously there to say, hey, everyone has to deal with this creature while everyone else attacks for the win. And then we got some enchantments. Prodigious Growth, definitely a win condition, playing 3 of these. 1 Talons of Wildwood and 3 Blanchwood Armors. And last but not least is Colossal Majesty, which I've been trying out, and so far I've liked just having one of them in the deck, because if you do play it out, chances are you're going to have something like a Blanchwood Armor or a Talons, I guess even a Prodigious Growth, but hopefully the game's over too soon for you to really get benefit from it. But really, anything that pumps a creature, even a couple Clan Callers out, you're going to hit that 4 power, and then you're drawing cards, and that's one of the biggest issues with this deck, is running out of gas too soon. That also is why we have a couple Green Seekers, 3 to be exact, in the deck, because they make sure that we hit our land drops and they help make sure that the land don't get in the way. But the reason I'm only playing 3 versus 4 is that they are not elves, so they don't get the benefit from our Clan Caller. And to wrap this up before we get into some gameplay, our win condition, as it is with most mono green decks, is to just go wide, get some creatures down, get some ramp going, play something like a Clan Caller. Turn 3, you got some more plays, we got some removal if we need, but by turn 5 or 6, we've hopefully taken control of the board. Our creatures are bigger than our opponents can deal with, and then we trample through with something like Goreclaw or Talons or Prodigious Growth, and we can close the game out fairly quickly. This deck actually feels pretty good. I'm hoping the gameplay shows you guys how much fun it is and the power that it does have. Let's get into that. Now, match 1 here. We don't know who we're playing against, but we get to play first, which is pretty nice. Decent hand. I mean, there's a lot of land, but we believe. So we're going to play our land. Ooh, another green deck. Okay. Play another land. And it looks like we're up against the black-green. Probably mostly our devastation cards, but lots of -1, -1 counter synergies. That's kind of annoying. But I think overall we should be able to overcome it. Depending on how wide they go, we'll see what happens. That's not fun, but it is only going to be, what, a 1/1 for a bit, so that's okay. But they already have a snake out, and that's not good. Like, basically we have to try and stall until we can swing for lethal, because the fact that everything's going to have death touch that we attack into is no bueno. We have our option to play our Reclamation Sage, but there's nothing to target with it, so I think we just hold on. Yeah, the Hungering Hydra would be an okay play here, but I think, what do we do? Oh yeah, we play the Hydra out, and then we can play the Majesty the next turn and just start drawing more cards. Hopefully they don't have quick removal for it. That'd be pretty nice, but let's wait and see what happens. Oh, another one. And then we... Can they... Oh, they can just target that. That's super nice. Get a 4/4 out there and another snake token. If I was them, I'd probably be a bit more aggressive. They just kill one of the snake tokens off. Yeah, like, you're going to be making snake tokens for days. Why not just attack with the snake tokens and start poking away for damage? Don't know, but that's fine with us. We don't mind. We're flooding a bit, but that's okay. This is our 1 card that helps with the flood. Fingers crossed they don't remove our Hydra. I'm sure they have something that can put -1, -1 counters on our cards. Alright, draw an extra card. Nice. The Blanchwood Armor isn't very exciting, though, because, again, everything of theirs just has death touch. So I think about playing it here, and then I just pass, because my thought is, if they do have removal, and then we end up losing everything before we're even bothering to attack, why put it on something? It kind of just opens us up to be 2 for 1 earlier than we need to be 2 for 1. And yeah, I mean, we got nothing but forests. Now, this is a pretty terrible card for them because it, one, knocks our Hydra down to be lower than the Majesty's looking for, and we lose another card. Why they're not attacking, though, is still beyond me. We continue to flood. Not ideal. I figured let's throw out the Reclamation Sage. There's nothing to target with it, but this kind of had me freaking out. Like, do I have to target something? No, it says you may. Okay, we got it. Ooh, MTGO, fun times. So yeah, we'll throw the enchantment on there, and now, if nothing else, it just, you know, we kind of have to draw our way out of this situation. Fortunately, our opponent is continuing to not be aggressive at all. That's just compounding the issue of them being able to make more and more tokens. Fortunately, those ones don't have Death Touch, but that's nothing. But now it has me thinking, if they go super wide, they're not being aggressive. Like, if they were attacking the last few turns, we'd be down to 10, give or take. Like, we'd be dead in a couple turns, and instead they're just not attacking at all. Get a couple cards, decent spells. What's nice about Guide here is that they cannot chump block it, and the creatures that have the higher power don't have Death Touch. So they can chump block, that's fine, we're totally okay with that. But yeah, as you can see, this is working out fairly well for us. We don't attack with the Hydra because there's no point in trading. I guess it's, you know, the intimidation factor of it alone is worth it. And then next turn we can use the mana for Titanic Growth. So we're just kind of holding our breath, hoping that our opponent continues to play timid. Let this game be a lesson to you. 100% play more aggressive. If you have a board like they do, 4 Death Touch snakes, just start hurling them at your opponent. Why? I mean, that's the point of this deck, is just to overwhelm your opponent. Now, a big creature, this might start making them feel a bit more bold, I think. Like, hey, their 5/5 can deal with a couple of our creatures. No big deal. And then we get Declare Dominance. And the light bulb goes off. Oh, this is perfect. This is game. We just throw Declare Dominance on literally anything and then swing for the win. And then my big dumb head doesn't remember that Hungering Hydra can only be targeted or only blocked by 1 creature. So we throw the growth on this, and then, believe it or not, I'm like, hey, let's wait, and then I can just declare dominance on my Hydra the next turn, and it's easy win. Now they got a nice synergy because us playing the Prodigious Growth triggers their removing a counter or putting a counter on their creature, which then triggers them getting another snake token and an insect token, and they think, hey, I'm just going to throw all my creatures at this big thing. I don't know why. Why they did that. Oh, I know why, because it keeps them from dying. Duh. But right now we've got them on the ropes, feeling pretty good. The idea that we can get our 2 best enchantments on the same creature and it not be killed is probably not a luxury you get in other competitive formats. But hey, this is just for fun, and this is a draft chaff deck, and it's working out fairly well. Now they're killing off our Gipper Guide, which is no bueno, but it was bound to happen. And I think we're pretty much too far ahead at this point, and I'm still thinking, oh, Declare Dominance. Again, GG, easy. As long as I don't gain some life here, which I'm not seeing. Draw extra cards. Yeah, let's do it. But again, like I said, I'm really dumb, and I'm like, hey, let's put that on the Hungering Hydra. You nailed it. Well done. You crushed it. Now the Titanic Growth will save us from our super cool mistake, because it does only have 19 power with trample. And look at me, like, look at how smart I am. I'm like, everything has to block the Hydra. Why are you wasting our time putting all the tokens over there? And then I immediately face palm hard enough to give myself a concussion. And then I also realized that it doesn't matter. We still win here. Great. And then I also type in the chat, hey, I'm dumb, lol. But our opponent ends up just conceding, and maybe it's because they realize, hey, I should have been more aggressive. I hope they learned to be more aggressive. That's kind of the point of the Just for Fun, is just to learn and have fun. So let's get into match 2. Now into match 2, we can see our opponent is on the play. They have the blue-green deck, so this immediately makes me think that they're probably doing that pretty popular deck where they're trying to get mass amounts of lands out and then just overwhelming us with some type of card draw, synergies, playing big permanents, returning all the stuff to our hand, just not fun to really play against, meaning we got to close them out quick. Fortunately, we have a pretty good hand here. Our opponent misses a land drop. That's no good for them. And now we've got some action. We actually need to find our 5th and 6th land, but overall, we're feeling pretty good. Gipper Guide's getting in there 3-2 for some, fairly decent damage. Obviously, we're not attacking with the Dryad Greenseeker anytime soon. We're just going to yield until the end step. This is good to see. Like, hey, take all the land and time you need. We're in no hurry. No land, unfortunately. Our second growth, but hey, once we can play them, we'll be happy to have multiples, assuming that they don't just immediately get bounced or countered or whatever. We play out our other two drops. Life's good. We're just hoping we hit that 5th land, and we wait and see what happens. Thankfully, they don't have 3 or more deserts, so they don't get the zombies here, just more land, which we are happy about, because if we hit a land here, we win, because we can use the Druid of the Cowl for the 6th mana, throw the growth on anything, and we win. So we're just hoping, boom, there's our land, play the growth, and we also have the Elvish Clan Caller there to root on their teammates. But yeah, play the growth, swing for the win, life's good. Hey, Dryad Greenseeker getting in there. Game 2, we get a hand that is keepable, but I'm not stoked about it. We do need to hit that 3rd land, but if we hit the 3rd land, then we're hitting the 4th, and we're doing okay. We also have a removal spell in case they have something like a Llanowar Elves of their own, but we'll throw out our Clan Caller, and fingers crossed, hey, there's our 3rd land. Feeling pretty good. Yep, they're doing their thing, just ramping like there's no tomorrow. And then wait, do we play the guide and keep putting pressure on? And I decide, yeah, I think that's our best bet, because it is now a 4-3 with our Clan Caller out there, not too bad. And hey, wouldn't you know it, they do have their own Llanowar Elves. What's nice here too is we can Rabid Bite and then Titanic Growth to get rid of this Gideon, which we're definitely going to do, because we do not want to deal with that obnoxious wall, stone wall, delaying the inevitable kind of thing. Now we wait and see. They're down to 3 cards, which makes us feel a little bit better. They fumigate. That's not all bad for us. It's not ideal because we did lose some pretty good cards, but we can rebuild our board fairly quick. Greenseeker I like more than Rejuvenator because we need to draw lands, but we also need to get the lands out of the way so we can draw our gas, as it's called in the biz. And I'm looking at that mind. I was like, that is some weird art. This kid's like, look how smart I am. I stand under waterfalls. Got it. All right, we get lucky. We hit our 5th land drop, and then I'm like, wait, do we declare dominance? No, we don't want to get rid of their Champion of Wits because that just draws them more cards, draws them more action when they eternalize it, which they're looking to do. And with us having growth and declare dominance, we can probably put them on a 2-turn clock. So when they do eternalize it, they don't have time to actually gain that benefit. Them playing out Nissa, though, it was a little annoying. I'm not so worried about them swinging and trying to win through attacks this early, but it makes our attacks into them a bit tougher. Plus, we're not exactly able to get rid of Nissa quite easily. But drawing Blanchwood Armor is really nice because now our creatures are really unable to be dealt with in a convenient way. So we play growth because now we have to trample. We trample over and we want to take care of Nissa. Plus, no matter what they block with, it's going to die. And then the Prodigious Growth plus the Blanchwood Armor puts them on a clock that hopefully they can't deal with unless they have multiple bounce. But again, they only have 1, now 2 cards in hand. 1's a land. Feeling pretty good. Seeing Compass come down isn't ideal because now they can untap a creature. So that does delay us a turn or 2. But Blanchwood Armor is just so good. It's what is one of our win conditions. Throw out Clan Caller. Next turn we can play that out, and that's just going to keep pumping everything. So we've got them on a 3-turn clock. There's turn 1. You got 2 draws. Fingers crossed. They play out an Elves. Kind of annoying because they can untap the non-trample creature. But the one benefit with Declare Dominance is that we could, if we need to, use that to take care of the chump blockers and then swing in for the big damage. We get kind of lucky drawing another Clan Caller because instead of having to tap ours to get it into play, we can use this now, get rid of the chump blocker, and hit for 7. Right, because they're going to untap the 10. They block the 5 because they have to. So we keep them on their clock. And they can't spend their turn eternalizing their Champion of Wits, so we've pretty much got this game locked up. But waiting for it. Did they draw something? Nope. Eternalize. Feeling pretty good. Let's just wait and see what we draw. are we actually going to be able to close it out or not? Because they draw 4, but they also have to discard 2. Nope, they just give up scoop. All right, we'll see you in match 3. And match 3, we have a pretty decent starting hand, 2 lands, but we got a couple drops. If we can draw some land, we'll be happy. Draw another 2 drop, not all bad. Ooh, and it looks like we're up against mono red. This is a tale as old as time. This is the classic. These are the arch enemies. Mono green versus mono red. Let's get into it. Clan Caller here is nice because it allows us to not be afraid to attack into their 2/1 first strike. Get after it. Greenwood Sentinel. But they got their land too. They got lots of burn. Something like a shock doesn't treat us too well. 2/1 first strike. Now I'm definitely thinking they gotta have some shenanigans. We'll take 2. No big deal. And wait for it. Now a fun thing that you can watch in this match is check out the timer of our opponent, or I guess our timer too, but I have to cut a lot out of this match because this just plays out so slow, especially I'll just say in the later games. Don't want to spoil it. But anyway, we get our 3rd land, we play out our Druid of the Cowl. Next turn we can play out Goreclaw, although we can't assume it's going to live. But all right, Primal Amulet. They're clearly doing something different than you normally see in a burn deck. They stay back though, so we can attack pretty comfortably. If we really need to play the Titanic Growth, we can. I almost attack with the Druid of the Cowl, which would be all bad. But we attack, they just chump block. That makes me feel okay. Makes me feel like maybe they don't have a trick, because why not just keep that back then and use it the next turn? We'll throw Goreclaw out and just fingers crossed it survives until the next turn, because if we get 1 attack with it, I think we'll be pretty good. Now, this is looking like a fun insult to injury synergy deck. I like the tokens they put on the Primal Amulet. Definitely different than your other tokens. But insult to injury with the Primal Amulet getting flipped will be no bueno for us if they're able to pull that little combo off. So we're just hoping that we can finish them off before they play all these spells out of their hand. They got 3 in hand. Does that hopefully mean that they don't have it at least ready to go? I'm hoping. They Lightning Strike, though. That's no good. They go straight to the face with it, which I was surprised with. But they've got it all calculated out. I should have just known at this point that they probably had the combo, because that gets us exactly to 8, which insult to injury will deal 8 damage if they play it again, because it gets doubled and then doubled. Double damage, double spell. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. No bueno. But if they don't have it, then we have the winning attack next turn. So here goes nothing, and we just wait and see what happens. Plus, they're also going to have more mana. So if they have it in hand, great, but they're going to need something else to get them through this next turn. And they play this thing, which I'm like, wow, they got all kinds of synergies going. Things that make spells cost less, things that give them more resources back when they cast their spells. And then I see them attacking for 2. So this makes me think they don't have the insult to injury combo, and that they're trying to get through some cheeky free 2 damage. I say, not going to do it. I'm happy to block here, and then if I need a Titanic Growth to save it, that's fine. But we are not going to just take 2 free damage. We wait. Maybe they just did it just to create a servo token, but it's like, why bother doing that? I don't know. And here's the reason. They wanted to Banefire our creature, which we ain't having. But unfortunately, this does flip the Primal Amulet, so if they do have the insult to injury, then we know we're dead next turn. But we got to save our creature. There's no real debate about it. Draw a card. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us get through any more damage this turn. But playing out Hungering Hydra definitely keeps the board in our favor, and we 100% have him dead. And you got to play for the win. So attack, get in the almost lethal damage, and then Hungering Hydra. And we could have declared dominance, but then that just is 6. We get him down to 1. We don't get him down to 1. We get him down lower, but it doesn't really matter. They take an impressive amount of time in getting that combo off. You may have noticed that they took multiple minutes to actually play the card and then choose their targets, but I digress. That's all right. We're going to rise above. This battle is not over. Into game 2, we have a pretty nice starting hand, got a couple 2-drops, and we've got our Prodigious Growth that is win condition if they can't deal with it, and they're probably going to have a pretty hard time dealing with it because all the damage we saw was like 2, 4, 6. So if we can get this thing down on curve, I think we can close them out before they get all their synergies going. Right now it appears they don't have quite as strong of a start, so we're feeling pretty confident. All right, we got our land, all is well. We're just swinging for damage, try and keep them low, and then this next turn is going to be pretty much the turn of truth. They play their artifact that can ping us. We feel pretty confident because now we've got them on a 2-turn clock. And you might also notice that we just had to cut a minute out there because they just stared at the screen. But that's all right. We won game 2 pretty quickly. So now it's the game 3. This is for the gold medal, the championship. What is better, mono green elves or mono red burn? Feeling pretty good about it though. Pretty decent starting hand here. Even though we had to mulligan, it's not all bad. Get our 2-drop down, and then I think, do I want to put the Blanchwood armor down and get him on a 4-turn clock? No, let's play the creature out. That way we're not all in on one creature in case they do have some type of removal for it. This should work out pretty well. And then we wait and see. This game especially, just look at how much time gets knocked off the clock between every play. But they play another one of those artifacts, so we feel pretty confident. I should have 100% played Reclamation Sage there. Me playing Clan Caller was definitely a miss, because now it allows them to get double energy every time they play a sorcery or instant, which is going to come back to bite us. Here, as we can feel, Insult comes in. Look at them getting all that energy. No bueno. Just knocking time off the clock. Taking their sweet time. And then they do Harness Lightning. That play, the Harness Lightning play, only took 3 minutes, so not too shabby. Reclamation Sage. Now I'm like, okay, now we need to play this, get this thing out of here, and then hopefully after this attack we have them dead next turn. Almost regardless if they've used multiple removal spells, that's fine. The Hungering Hydra can hopefully carry us home to victory, even if it is only a 2/2. We can pump it up and life will be good. They play Chandra. They have a removal spell with it, so to speak, but that's pretty much the game. Play our last land, throw out Blanchwood armor, throw it on the creature, attack for the win. We did it. Mono green elves is victorious over mono red burn. Thank you all for watching. We will see you in the next video. Peace.